What the fuck?
What's up, guys? It's Atomic, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about Predator Hunting Grounds. In case you guys haven't heard about it yet, where have you been? But you just saw the teaser trailer at the beginning of this video, and this game was announced last week at Sony's State of Play. I've been meaning to get around to it for a while, make a video on this, but I've just been too lazy. Anyway, this is a game that I'm actually looking forward to, and there's a couple reasons why. One, it's an asymmetrical multiplayer game. Now, normally, wouldn't be too excited about this, don't really care, until Friday the 13th came along. Now, I think it's great. I love this concept, and could we see this with the Predator game? Well, it remains to be seen. But the other reason why I got excited, or at least somewhat interested, was who is making this game. Now, in the past, usually who makes a game, it draws some attention, some interest. There's different developers out there that I say, oh, they're coming out with a new game. I'm interested. But in the last year, we've seen a lot of these, heavy hitters, kind of titans, fall by the wayside. I'm thinking specifically about Bethesda, really, with the Fallout series. Now, when the next Elder Scrolls game comes out, people are going to say, hey, wait a minute, this is not a sure thing. A big one also is BioWare. We just saw with the release of Anthem, less than stellar. So a company that, before you might be saying, oh, these guys top of the game, they're coming out with a game, I'm getting it. Now, maybe not. Finally, DICE, over the last year and a half, they've had a couple of stinkers with Battlefront 2, which, to be fair, I think is a pretty good game, but, the whole controversy with the loot boxes, etc. And then Battlefield 5 seemed to under-deliver. But anyway, this Predator game, Predator Hunting Grounds, which is slated to come out in 2020, is being made by Ilphonic. Now, in case you don't know, they helped make this Friday the 13th game. Pretty cool, right? You would think. Normally, I wouldn't get too excited. Look, Friday the 13th is not any kind of technical marvel, to say the least, but it's a pretty damn fun game. And Ilphonic, I believe, were the ones that had the original idea behind this game. They wanted to do that whole Slasher Camp Volume 1. At least I think it was their idea. And then, Gun came in, they got the license Friday the 13th. Anyway, when I look at this Predator game, I say, hey, you know what? This could be very similar to Friday the 13th. Now, how exactly? Well, it remains to be seen, but I figured we'd speculate for a couple minutes just to have some fun. So the first thing is, what is this? Is it going to be one Predator versus just 4 generic commando dudes? Or would it be more than that? Because in Friday the 13th, I have to admit, I like the balance. One person is the quote-unquote monster, and then you have 7 regular people. In Friday the 13th's case, it's 7 counselors. I think that's a pretty good balance. At least it seems like that right now. But, there's always the issue of, well, when do I get to be Jason? In the Predator game, when would I get to be the Predator? So that remains to be seen, but I kind of like this balance, 1 versus 7. I think it works well. Now, whether or not that's going to translate into this Predator game, again, remains to be seen. But could the Predator actually handle like Jason? Well, I assume so. I assume this game, the maps anyway, would all be in the jungle. I think this game will take inspiration from the first Predator film, and that's it. Forget about the sequels and the crossovers and the sequel reboots, whatever you want to call them. Keep it all based on the first game. So I figured they would all be jungle-type maps. Maybe a map with a little hut, little villages, something like that. Now, what would be the goal of the game? I think that's a big question a lot of people have, because in Friday the 13th, the way it's supposed to be anyway. We don't have to talk about what the game has turned into, but what it was supposed to be was one random attacker, Jason in Friday the 13th's case, and everyone else was supposed to basically run, hide, escape. In a Predator game, it would be a lot different. You would think, in Friday the 13th, the main goal wasn't to kill Jason. Could you do it? Yes. But, again, you're supposed to run, hide, and escape. In a Predator game, you would think, killing the Predator would definitely be an option, in fact, encouraged. So again, how could that play into the balance? I don't know. I've heard some people saying, well, maybe it'll be more like Evolve. And if you don't know, that was a game where it was one monster versus 4 people. But in that instance, I don't think it would work quite as well just because your monster got more powerful over the course of the game. Not so much in Friday the 13th. You get a rage mode, that's it. And quite honestly, I don't know how it could translate to the Predator game. So what would be the objective of the people? Yes, could they kill the Predator? Sure. But I hope that's not the primary objective. But what would you do? Would it just be escape? Would there be something in Friday the 13th you can call the police? What would you do in the Predator game? Call in for an airlift to get out of there? Okay, well, maybe that could work, but what else? You're not going to be repairing cars or anything. It would be nice to see some kind of, escort, but again, how good would the AI be? I would like to see something maybe, just maybe, where you have to go and rescue an AI hostage, get them out of there the whole time the Predator is tracking you. As far as what else you could be doing in terms of playing as a human, I'm not quite sure. Again, there could be some kind of, let's get out of here. Let's call in for a chopper, get the hell out of here. And yes, kill the Predator. Beyond that, though, I don't know what else they could do. So if you guys have some thoughts, please let me know. Now, as far as the Predator, I could see him actually controlling a lot like Jason. We look at Jason, he's got 4 abilities, and then he gets his rage mode. Well, the Predator, again, not exactly the same, but it could be similar. At the beginning of every game, Friday the 13th, you get a morph ability as Jason. Well, that's not really going to translate quite well to the Predator game. And again, it's not really necessary either. But I assume, again, most of these maps will be in a jungle environment. So I assume instead of having a morph, you'll have enhanced speed as the Predator, along with being able to maybe climb trees, maybe leap from tree to tree. I think that would be pretty cool. The next ability you get as Jason is a sense ability. Again, this could work perfect in the whole Predator sense. You get your Predator vision, they'll call it, whether it's, a thermal vision, something like that. Again, is it just gonna be all out in the jungle? Could there be huts you hide in as a commando? Again, that doesn't sound too much fun, hiding as a commando. But again, I could see it working very similar to the sense ability in Friday the 13th, where you get your thermal vision. Hey, you can see them. People can't see the Predator. The third ability that you get is a whole sense ability. Again, I don't see that quite working with the Predator, but again, I talked about maybe the enhanced speed, something like that. I mean, I'm picturing almost like a little parkour across treetops as the Predator. I think it would be pretty cool. And then finally, the last ability that you get as Jason is Stalk. This could work again with the Predator. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe he'll have a whole kind of stalk ability, but again, he also has his camouflage. So again, I think that would be pretty cool. It would, suck, I think, playing the game, and all of a sudden you get, quote unquote, grabbed out of nowhere by the Predator, but I think it would make playing as the Predator pretty damn fun. Or who knows, maybe, he could have a couple different types of stealth ability. One where, the game just turns you completely invisible. The other one would be something along the fact that maybe you're only invisible when you stand still. And then as you're moving, you know, players could see your outline where you're still kind of blended in, still kind of camoed up, but players could see if you're moving. Kind of like the stalk ability where if you use it as Jason, you stand still, it lasts a lot longer. But as you stand still, no problem. You'll be in stalk all day long. Now, I think the big difference between a Friday the 13th game and a Predator game would be the fact that maybe not all, but most of the weapons in the game are projectile weapons. You know, in Friday the 13th, there are no projectile weapons outside of Jason's throwing knives. The Predator game, at least you would think, would be all projectile. I mean, again, it might seem a little cheap, too, if you're getting sniped across the map by the Predator. And again, how many people are involved in the game? Who knows? How, again, they would work that out, I don't know. But again, I think it would be pretty damn fun. You as the hunter, the Predator, you know, stalking your prey. A lot of fun. But again, what kind of weapons are the quote-unquote counselors, the commandos, going to have? And will it be all focused on fighting? And last but not least, what I wanted to talk about is who exactly would you play? Is it just going to be generic commando guys? I have a feeling it will be, but wouldn't it be pretty sweet if you could play as characters from the first film? I mean, they're all pretty iconic, whether it's Arnold, Carl Weathers, Jesse the Body, as you saw in the opening, you know, even the Poncho guy. A lot of people know who these guys are. Now, I don't think that would happen simply because licensing, the cost, you know, is Arnold going to give his likeness to the game? Seriously doubt it. But, and it's a big but, what if, just like in Friday the 13th, how you can call in a hero character like Tommy Jarvis, what if you could call in someone from the films? I think it would be pretty badass. I mean, just imagine playing it. You know, you die, fine, but you get to come back, and who are you? Jesse the Body with a minigun? Yeah, sign me up for that. So again, I don't know exactly how this game is going to work. Let me know what you guys think. But I think it could be pretty damn fun. And like I said, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on it. You know, normally, you know, we see a game like this, at least for me anyway, I figure, just like I did with Friday the 13th. Oh, it's a licensed game. It's not going to be any good. It's going to be cheaply made. I mean, even in their teaser trailer, it's not like that thing looks that good. But, you know, hey, Friday the 13th surprised all of us, you know. No matter what you say about the current state of the game right now and how every patch seems to have broken the game even more, it's pretty damn fun. It was never the best looking game, but a pretty damn fun game. And I think the Predator game could, and it's a big maybe, you know, but I think it really could end up being something like Friday the 13th. You know, Predator, at least I don't think, has a big of a following as Friday the 13th. Not a hardcore fan base, but a pretty big fan base nonetheless. And if the gameplay is fun, the game will succeed. It's that simple. So let me know what you guys think. I'm keeping my eye on this game. Like I said, it's coming from Ilphonic. You know, when we look at their track record, okay, buggy games, but pretty damn fun games too, at least I think. Will Predator live up to it? Is it even going to come out in 2020? And who knows when in 2020? Could be in January of next year. It could be in December of next year. And what I was saying earlier, that teaser trailer that we have just seen, you know, it's not the prettiest. But again, once we see some gameplay, we'll have a little bit more of a, you know, okay, I'm definitely keeping my eye on this, or, no, looks like crap, not getting it. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble and rant, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.
Bunch of slap-jawed faggots around here. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.